Well, thanks so much for coming on, Joanne. I just think that you have a really inspiring story to tell, because I know that there are so many other women out there who would have or are struggling with the same things that you were and are. And, you know, you've been in the program, what did we say, coming up?
Coming up the end of the year, 2 years.
2 years, but it took you 11 months to get your shit together.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and so many times you could have quit, you know. Yeah. And I remember having that conversation with you at the event, and you look totally different, you know, like your face isn't puffy anymore, your goiter's gone down, which is so incredible. Like, and I actually remember thinking, like after we had the conversation, I thought, I don't know if she's going to make it.
Yeah,
like
I can't blame you for that. Yeah, I honestly didn't know either, but I knew it was my decision to make. I had to decide. So
but it really is amazing. So let's start. Like, tell everyone, you know, what your background is with your health and what you've done and where you ended up before you started the program.
Yeah. Okay. So I've had a long history of thyroid issues, and I was on a thyroid extract compounded prescription from an endocrinologist, been with him for about 20 years and had the same prescription for like 20 years. Basically, my thyroid was underactive, not performing and not doing anything for me really. At the time I joined, while I was on Mirena contraceptive, because my periods were painful, they were excruciating, and my doctor thought that was a way to help with the pain. So I'd have like a day a month that I couldn't pretty much go to work because I was in too much pain. So that was really crippling. And I had a history of weights. I used to love training. I was a power lifter, and so I decided one day after seeing you on Facebook that that's it. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to go back to the gym, try something different. So I was also big into booze. So I work at a brewery. So I've worked at a brewery for years, and there's beer all around me all the time. And I've worked in hospitality, and I love food and wine and all that kind of stuff. And I used to drink every single day. So after work, I'd drink. On the weekends, I'd drink a lot. And there'd be rarely an alcohol-free day. So coming into while I was all in with my training, I reckon I was 90% in with my food, but I wasn't going to give up my booze. I cut it down, but I didn't give it up. I cut it way down. I probably honestly cut out about 80% of it, but I didn't give it up, and I was frustrated. So
what about diet-wise? Like, before you joined, had you done many restrictive diets?
I had done everything, really. I had done.
Could I say, what haven't you done?
Oh, yeah. Well, I did. I quit sugar for a long time. I did Pete's Paleo for a while, and I did a lot of cutting carbs and tried keto, but couldn't last with that. So yeah, I just tried a few things, and a few things worked, but then they just weren't sustainable. So, and I've got a hubby who's Italian and loves carbs. So he's all about the carbs, and he just was ready for divorce when I wasn't going to serve him carbs anymore. So
he'd be loving wow then. We're like, so pro carbs.
Oh my God. When I joined Wall and said, you don't have to eat broccoli anymore, babe, he was just in heaven. So happiest thing ever. So he's happy because he doesn't have to eat broccoli.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. And can you talk about, because I think a lot of women would really relate to this, your mindset in the first 11 months and what really stopped you from fully committing and going all in?
Yeah. I felt I was giving up, or I would have been giving up more than what I was getting. So I was really afraid, actually, to give up the social aspect of booze. And I was afraid of the reaction of my friends, my family, my partner, because that's what we do. We get together, we drink, we talk, we laugh, but it's always around booze. So that was really what kept me drinking. So I stopped drinking at home by myself after work. That was fine, but that was the little bit that I was hanging on to. Like, I'd still always drink with friends, or drink for an occasion, or drink for something, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, after work, there's a bar in the office. We work at a brewery. There's a bar in the office. So Friday night, the bar's open for free. We can go and drink whatever we want for free. So
Wow.
the bar's open for 2.5 hours on a Friday night, and everybody just goes in there and gets hammered and leaves. So that was routine, you know, to go in there after a hard week of work and drink. So, yeah, it was only after I decided that I wasn't going to get where I really wanted to go by doing what I was doing, that something had to change, and I needed to give it a shot. So I thought of it like an experiment. So
it's funny how you hold on to it, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, I didn't really fully, like, when I very first started this with Emma and the training, like, I made a lot of really good changes, but I still wasn't as consistent as I am now. Like, I didn't fully embrace the lifestyle, I don't think. And I still was drinking. You know, so I'm like you. Like,
yeah,
I love alcohol.
I do.
I
still
like,
do.
Yeah, I love it. But I just, like you say, I don't like, well, you said you don't get hangovers, but I don't like how it makes me feel, you know, and it's funny though, how you try and change everything else, but you think, you're like, oh, I'll still just drink.
Yeah, that was exactly
like,
the way I thought. I'll change everything else. I'll nail my macros, but I'm going to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just didn't work. So yeah, I was getting strong as anything. I was so strong.
You are strong.
And I am strong. I was getting all the weights. The training was not an issue, but I was just stacking on weight because my muscles were growing. I was getting really strong, but I was putting on weight. So it was scary to me to be as big as I was. But so I had to make a call. I had to make a call to either do it properly or just stop. So I thought of it like an experiment. Thought, well, I'm going to be a scientist and take out booze and see what happens. And I did it at Christmas like an idiot.
Even more amazing.
Yeah, I stopped the end of November.
Wow. And what was the turning point though? Like what was it that made you go?
It was you. It was your talk to me at the event. So I kind of knew I'd been a couple of weeks already booze free by the time we got to the event. But in my mind, that wasn't full on. That wasn't like, that could end at any time. If somebody rang and said, do you want to go catch up for a beer? I'd be like, yeah, sure. But I'd had a couple of weeks under my belt by the time the event happened, and then we had a chat, and you basically asked me, you know, don't you want to know? And I thought, I kind of do. I do want to know. So there's only one way I'm going to find out. I have to do my experiment. So I thought, right, I've got a couple of weeks under my belt. I'll just keep going. And so I did. I kept going, and I did it at the hardest time of the year with all the social Christmas events, with Christmas Day, with New Year's Eve, with everything, and I did not drink. So I did not drink. I didn't have a drink until the end of August, just gone. So, yeah, I went 9 months without having a drink of alcohol, and I can't even tell you when the last time that was. Would have been before I was legal. Yeah.
That is real. And you know what I think is more incredible too? Like you said, your partner, he'll have a beer or a wine every night.
He has beer or wine
every
don't drink.
Night.
I still don't drink. I smell the wine. When he opens a beautiful bottle, I'll smell it. And, I love it, but I don't have any.
Is he supportive of you and this?
Yeah, he wasn't in the beginning. He was kind of, why do you want to do that for? He couldn't really understand, but he's seen the change in me as well. And I think he understands now that one goes with the other. So yeah, because I've worked hard before and haven't got the results. And now I'm working hard, even through lockdown. It's been harder to work hard, but I'm working hard, and I've got the results and I'm booze free. So
Oh, it's just it is. I think you're amazing. And let's talk about, so like, you know, since that, when you were like, okay, because I just remember at the event, like, you know, you talked about you've had a goiter your whole life. Like, look at your neck now.
Yeah, it's virtually gone. It's just got a bit of skin left over from where the big lump was. But
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
face, like, it's just so much, like, because you looked puffy. You know, I think the alcohol makes you puffy.
Yeah.
You know, and you said your periods are now
Regular
and pain-free.
Yeah, regular.
Just amazing, isn't it? And like, talk about your body. How's your body changed?
My legs, I'm totally in love with my legs. They're now shaping up, and I'm seeing things like when I see my reflection in my balcony mirror when I train, I can see muscles and tightness through my upper body that I've never seen before, because I've always been, like you said, a bit puffy. So now I'm seeing more definition come through, and my legs we actually saw friends this weekend. We've got a friend running for local council who wanted some help letter dropping, so we went to help on the weekend just to get out of the house, basically, an excuse. And I had on leggings and hadn't seen these people for 6 months, and they know us pretty well, and they took one look at me and said, "Oh my God, look at you, look at your legs, you can see, what have you been doing?" So that was pretty good validation, pretty good to hear that, you know, oh, someone's noticing. That's good. So it's made a big difference.
And how long did you take your thyroid meds for?
I was on thyroid meds for probably close to 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you've been off them now for?
Well, since I stopped drinking, but pretty much the same time as the event. So around about the event time, my prescription was running out, and I was going to run out of my meds, and I hadn't made an appointment to see the doctor to get another prescription, and then I just didn't get around to it, and then I hadn't had them for a couple of weeks, and I thought, oh well, let's just not get them anymore and see what happens. And I expected to fall in a heap for a while, and I didn't. So it kind of gave me a little bit of hope that maybe my thyroid might be working a bit better after, you know, a year on this way of eating. So I think it is working a little bit better. So I've got, my temps are good. Something must be working if I'm not waking up freezing cold. So yeah.
Great. Wow. And look, anyone listening to this, I don't recommend that you just stop taking your medication.
No, I don't recommend
your doctor,
either.
of course. Speak to a doctor.
It was an accident.
Work with them to come off it. But isn't that great? Isn't it great that you know, your temps and pulses are good, your periods regular?
Yeah.
How are you feeling in yourself?
I feel lots more confident than what I was, and I'm really proud actually of the work.
You should be proud. Yeah. Craig's proud of you.
Thanks, sausage.
He always talks about you guys. He has a soft spot for you guys.
No, he works as hard, and I love it.
Yeah. You should be proud of yourself though, because I know how hard it is to stop drinking. But
really, you know what though, I want to say to anybody listening, it's actually not, your people in your circle won't give you as hard a time as what you think. So they won't. They'll think you're crazy, and they might mock you for a while, but then they'll be intrigued and they'll ask you questions. So it doesn't last more than the initial curiosity, and then they just don't care really. They don't care.
They can still drink. They don't give a shit.
That's right.
I can still drink.
That's right. That is 100% right.
You know, that's actually a really good point, because I think a lot of women, you know, they get worried that their friends or their partner, and I think, you know,
that was my biggest roadblock. That was my biggest roadblock to it all.
I remember actually you saying to me at the work functions, I said, they're not going to give a fuck. No. Like, I still
went to the Friday night bar and I would drink. There's 0 alcohol beer now, so I'd have 1 or 2 of those. There's still carbs and would blow my macros out, so I'd only have 1 or 2, and then I'd just switch to soda water, and I could still drink with people, everyone. And I'd get funny looks because once they're all 3 or 4 pints in there, like, what are you drinking? But you know, you'd always get that, and you know, I didn't care after a while. It was predictable. So you just form your answers and keep them rolling, and after 2 or 3 times, nobody cares.
Nah, I think
nobody cares.
In a way, it's like, I think it's another excuse for you to keep drinking. Like, you use it as a...
But it is scary. It is an excuse, but it is scary as well. It was scary. I did New Year's Eve drinking big cans of Coco Bella coconut water. So I'd have my big white can in my hand, and people would come up and say, "What are you drinking? You know, that looks weird. What are you drinking?" I'm like, coconut water, and then get a weird look, and then okay, and then just carry on.
Yeah, I mean, if you told them they couldn't drink, then they'd probably be pretty upset.
Yeah. But there are so many fancy non-alcoholic options out there these days. You can get tiny little gin and tonics that have no gin in them. They just look like fancy gin and tonic bottles. You don't even have to look like you're not drinking anymore.
I know. You drink soda. I just say drinking vodka soda. But you know what, though? I think you're right. Like, if your friends are truly your friends, they might give you a bit of stick to start with, but then they accept. They don't care. Like, as long as you have
fun. They don't. And we found other couples wanted an excuse not to drink as well when they were with us. So one of them was like, "Oh, you're not drinking? Oh, good, I won't either. I'll just have something else." Yeah. So that was kind of, it was interesting to see the different behavioural changes in people. So, don't be scared.
I think maybe it's a bit of a cultural thing, especially in Australia.
Totally.
Like it's expected that, like, you drink at barbecues, you drink at everything. Like, people are expected to drink. Craig's never really... since I met him, he's never drunk ever. Like, you know, even now, like, I'll have every now and then a few drinks, but he never drinks, but I don't care, you know? Like, he's still, people, you know, I think you think they're going to care more than they are.
That's right. It's true. People don't care. As long as you're not trying to change them, they don't care.
They just want to drink themselves. And like, what advice would you give a woman who was listening to this, who was, say, back where you were, you know, when you were still sort of, you know, 80% with the food and the training, and you're sort of half in and you're not going all in? Like, what would you say to her?
I would say you've got to decide. It doesn't work if you're not all in. It just doesn't, because there'll always be that one thing that you're not doing properly that will just trip you up. You'll get so far, but you won't go as far as what you want. So you've just got to decide that you're in or you're not. I mean, let's face it, we're all here, we're all spending money on an investment on ourselves. You know, why are you going to throw that money away and not make it worth your while as well? So there's that aspect to it. There's so much knowledge in this group. There's so much information we get from you guys. There's so much help. And, you know, we all know what the rules are. The rules to success, they're all there. They're actually really easy compared to other things out there. We get to eat the best food. So we do. We only train 3 times a week. You know, it's actually relatively easy. So but don't complain if it doesn't work for you, if you're not doing everything.
I guess you just got to ask yourself. I think sometimes it's like you need to go on the journey for a while and you get to the point where, I guess, the pain of staying the same is more, you know, is less than the pain. Like, changing is going to be easier. And you can see, like, a year ago I did a call with Craig when I was feeling that way. I was like, well, I've been doing this for 10 or 11 months and getting nowhere. I need help. And so Craig nailed me. He's like, well, you're still drinking. It's not going to work. And, you know, you can go back and anyone can go back and watch that call. And I've just come 360 degrees, like a 180 degrees, complete turnaround from that person. Like, I watched part of that the other day because somebody mentioned it to me in a comment, and I went back and rewatched it and couldn't believe that was me. And that was a year ago. Wow.
So,
that's amazing.
So just do an experiment like I did. Just do an experiment. Put a time limit on it. Do an experiment and do it for real and see what happens. And do you regret it at all? I don't regret it at all. No way. And I know that I've started on my way. I've got a way to go, and I'll just keep going till I get there. And I'm not going to be off booze for the rest of my life, but I'm going to be able to manage it 1,000,000 times better than what I ever did before. And not be a dick with it.
Yeah. And you know what?
basically.
And you're so right. Like, because I was exactly like you were prior, like drank heaps, felt like I could not drink. And you just have to go cold turkey, I reckon. And then you get to the point where you're like, oh, I drink occasionally. I really enjoy it, but I don't go crazy and I don't feel guilty and it's infrequent, you know, and like you just really enjoy it, but you don't go crazy.
I tell
And
you
it doesn't
what,
affect you. Yeah.
the glass of wine I had after 9 months of not drinking was the best glass of red I reckon I've ever had. It tasted so good, and it sat in my hand for like an hour and a half. I would just sip it so slowly. It was delicious. And then I had a couple of glasses on my birthday a few weeks ago, and they were just, I bought a beautiful bottle. I bought an expensive, beautiful bottle, and I shared it with my partner, and I enjoyed every mouthful of that wine and felt amazing. And that's it now. I'm done. I don't need to. There's nothing on the horizon. There are no events coming up. There's nothing, no reason why I need to have another drink yet. So, yeah. Probably not till maybe Christmas. I might have one now, but we'll see.
Yeah. And I think that's the key. It's like, if you drink regularly, it's going to affect you. But if you drink infrequently and like 90% of the time you do what you do, you're fine. Yeah. And I think too, like someone like you who has got thyroid issues and hormonal imbalances, you really do need to give it up for a period of time. You've got to let your body heal. You've got to support your liver. You've got to support your thyroid. And when you do, then when you have the occasional drink, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. I've noticed my body processes food better now too. Like I can tell that my metabolism has improved. My body is working better. And probably the food that I'm eating is better as well now, in better proportion. Like I'm way into the trying to balance proteins and carbs and get all the mix right. And I just feel that my body's using the food better than it ever has as well. So yeah, big changes happen.
So good. Oh, I'm really proud of you.
Thanks.
You really, I think you're really inspiring. I think it's really awesome. And yeah, it's just amazing to see you make that change in your mindset shift. And, you know, I know that other women will listen to this and hopefully they'll get inspired to make change.
I've seen lots of comments on Facebook recently. There's obviously lots of new ladies coming on and they remind me of me so much when I first started, and kind of just want to, part of me wants to grab them and hug them and say, just going to be all right. Part of me wants to shake them and say, oh, just snap out of it. But yeah, everyone's going to go through their journey and they have to find their way as well. So,
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks so much, Joanne, for coming on the show. And ladies, I hope that you found that, you know, educational, inspiring, and, you know, you can see that it is possible to really break free from those restrictive diets and, you know, not only have, you know, better periods and improve your metabolism, but actually get the body that you want in a healthy way. Like you can do it. You can do it. Strength training, eating more food. You just got to go all in and keep persisting even when you fail, because you're just the perfect example of that. Like you could have given up so many times. Yeah. But you didn't.
Could have, didn't, won't.
No, that's right. So good. Well, thanks so much, Joanne, and I'll chat with you in the program.
Excellent. Thanks, Kitty.
Bye.